Hi, welcome to my channel again. I usually do videos if I have something quick to say on my Instagram or on my Facebook, and I just do it live and just get it over with. But something like this, I just wanted to sit down and record it and make it a proper video because I think it'll probably be a good one to archive. I had the immense pleasure of going to hang out with a friend of mine a couple of days ago. When I walked in, there was a movie on, very popular one that just came out on Disney Plus called Turning Red. As soon as I sat down to just even get a glimpse of the screen, I noticed an immediate shift in how I felt. And I felt very uncomfortable and very weird. And just something was off in my spirit. I didn't know why. Yeah, that movie is, it's a no. It's a no. It's a lot. And I really was praying and I was asking God, because I'm like, okay, am I being too serious, or is my discernment really just popping off right now and I'm getting this correct? Because this ain't settling right with me. There are a lot of people that I've seen in the Christian community, Christian space, believer space, where they were talking about it and they were pointing out some of the things that were just weird and off about the movie. And I'm glad that I wasn't alone and that my discernment was like confirmed, because it was just so strange. So I just wanted to point out a couple of things in the movie that I thought were a little sketch that I think we should pay more attention to. Okay? Well, let's start off with a synopsis of the movie, right? So Turning Red, it's about a 13-year-old girl. I think her name is May. And basically she thinks she's grown, right? She thinks she can do whatever she wants, but it's her mom's fault, her mom's overbearing nature that kind of stops her from doing that, right? I think there's one line in the movie that goes like, in my culture, we honor our father and mother, but sometimes I just want to do my own thing. I don't know any 13-year-old who has the, freedom to do their own thing, but go off, sis. I just felt like, we're only a couple minutes in, and that's the first thing that I'm finding wrong with this movie. But let's go on. Oh, and there was one part in the movie about like worshiping animals or something like that. I don't know, maybe, I don't know. When May gets upset or gets anxious or gets some really strong emotion, she turns into a red panda. And her mom like discovers this. Oh, and there's this really it's not weird, I guess, because it is a real, topic, talking about, the cycle and periods and all that stuff, but it was just kind of weird to see in a children's movie. I don't know. Of course, I used to be a child, weren't we all? But I think that's the first time I've ever seen it like in like a children's movie meant for kids, where it talks about like periods and all that stuff and pads, and it was weird. It was weird. When the mom and the dad find out that she turns into a red panda, they talk about like how, we need to do like a ritual on a night with a red moon, so that way we can lock the spirit of the panda in a talisman. At the end of the movie, right, they do this ritual like in a whole circle and everything. They do a real ritual, right? And then all of the family members that have the panda, so the grandma, the mom, and the aunts, and May, the little girl, all go into like the astral plane. I don't really know exactly what they're doing. I think they're like trying to get rid of their pandas or something, but then May decides that she's going to keep her panda because now she knows who she is and who she wants to be, I guess. I don't know what 13-year-old girl knows who she wants to be and, who she is. Like, I'm 23 years old and I'm just recently, a couple years ago, just figuring out like, oh, this is exactly who I am. Oh yeah, and there's a lot of weird underage twerking in the movie. I don't know why. I don't want to see that. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I don't want to see it in real life, I don't want to see it animated, right? So, oh, and another great thing about this movie is that all the songs that are, catchy, that all the kids will be singing and dancing to, who knows how long, guess who they're written by? Billie Eilish. I love this movie. Oh yeah, and I guess the mom is supposed to be like a girl boss or something. She's supposed to be like in charge and, taking care of, the bills and all that stuff while the dad stays home and cooks and cleans and takes care of the household. Okay. There's a scene in the movie where May, right, she wants to go to this concert with her little friends. I think it's called Four Town or something. I don't know, some NSYNC ripoff. I don't even know. But she wants to go to the concert. And the mom is like, no, they're degenerate and blah, blah, blah. And they're like, it's filth and whatever. And the dad tries to interject, like, well, I mean, she could go. And the mom literally goes, quiet. And he just obeys. He's just like, oh, okay. Just cowering down. I'm very traditional. So that was a very, like, yikes scene, but whatever. I guess that's common nowadays, in most cultures, where just the woman just tramples over the man and he has to just listen. Yeah, what a world we live in, right? Oh, and there's this other part that I just loved that I thought was so appropriate for a kid's animated film. So May, right, sees this boy, I guess, with her friends as they're coming home from school, and I guess he's cute or whatever, I don't know. And she starts thinking about him and starts drawing in her little notebook. And it's implied that the pictures that she's drawing are like sexual, just based on how the mom reacts when she comes into her daughter's room and looks at them and sees them. When her mom starts to come into her room, I guess to check on her, say goodnight, whatever, May immediately goes to hide the notebook under her bed and tries to make sure her mother does not see it. What is the message here? Really? Like, is it, oh, if you're doing something you're not supposed to be doing, make sure to hide it from your parent? Like, I don't, at the end of the day, my main problem with this movie is the subtext, the overall message. I mean, there is a message behind it. I get it. It's like like, oh, you just got to find out who you are by yourself and blah, blah, blah. Okay, I get all that, whatever, right? As a believer, I can't see past demonic stuff in this film. And it may be going too far. You may be thinking, Naya, it's just a kid's film. Calm down. You're doing too much. But here's the thing, right? This is the stuff that is being pushed out to children, right? Children who are impressionable, who are young, who will take in any and everything and won't take it with a grain of salt. They don't even know what that means, right? They will take everything at face value. So when you have these songs that are written by this literal Satanist, this literal witch, who does a whole lot of things that are questionable in terms of, her music and music videos and stuff like that, writing songs for these children are singing it. Like, I'm sorry, but it's just like, you don't know, right? You don't know what sort of messaging and hidden things could be in those lyrics that may seem just innocent and like whatever, but I mean, I don't know. I don't trust a lot of things that come out of the mainstream media because they always have an agenda behind it. And obviously the agenda is pretty clear here, to me at least, that, you got to do what you got to do what you want, don't obey your parents, be overly sexual at a young age, just, you can figure out who you are and be yourself without having any sort of intervention from your parent or anything like that. Like, those are the messages that I get. It's not just Turning Red. It's the new Proud Family reboot. I watched that as well. It's trash. Like, it's the same sort of concept of, you are literally a fetus, but you can do whatever you want. Like, that's literally what the concept is for all of these shows and movies that are coming out now. I don't understand it. We need to be more on our discernment to know, like, hey, maybe my child shouldn't be watching this, right? Maybe this isn't a good thing for them to be indoctrinated with. I don't know. I've already made it very clear that if I have children, they're going to be watching Barney and the Wiggles from the 1990s, what I watched, right? Because all this stuff nowadays, it's ridiculous. There's too much occult symbolism. There's too many spells. There's too many rituals, too much magic. Like, it's enough. Like, I'm irritated by it. I'm not even a parent and I'm irritated by it. And I know that there are kids out there who wanted to watch Turning Red, who really were looking forward to it. I know that I was like, okay, I want to see what this prophet thing is about, but thank God for my discernment that I can look at that and go, yeah, no, that's not for me, because I don't want even a whiff of the rebellion that comes from that in my spirit. I don't want it there. And I feel like if you know that that's what it's giving off, that you shouldn't want that for your child either. And I'm seeing some comments online as well saying like, oh, well, we watch it together as a family, and then as we're going through the movie, I'll talk them through like what we're seeing and, you know, the symbolism, all of that. Like, no, just don't have them watch it in the first place. How about you watch it if you're so strong and built up in your faith and in your, you know, relationship with God to watch it, then why don't you watch it and then you tell your child, hey, this is why you cannot watch this movie. This is why you cannot watch this show. That seems pretty simple to me. That way you're not inadvertently exposing your child to something that is demonic. Like, I'm sorry, but it is. Like, and you're doing that intentionally. You know that it's demonic, right? But your thought process is, oh, well, I want them to be able to watch it and enjoy it, but I want them to also know the context behind it. Like, no, stop. You know, in 2 Corinthians 10:3-5, I'm actually going to read this one because I really do like this one. For though we walk in the flesh, we do not war against the flesh. For the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but mighty in God for pulling down strongholds, casting down arguments, and every high thing that exalts itself against the knowledge of God, bringing every thought into captivity to the obedience of Christ. We can try all day to, you know, keep our kids from watching these things or shield them from these things as much as we can, right? But kids are going to find a way to do what they want to do. I would suggest like, you know, praying over your child every night, praying over, I don't know, the TV screen, the iPad, the computer, I don't know. I would pray over it, maybe. Pray over your child, of course, because it's a spiritual fight, you know. Like I've said before, I have no children, so I can't entirely tell you what to do in terms of that. All I can do is just go by what I would do, which is not watch it at all. Or if I got a little inkling that it was weird, I'd turn it off and then immediately just pray scriptures of, you know, like strength and peace and whatever else over me, because even if it's just a second of it, even if it's just like a couple minutes of it, that's enough time for any sort of evil spirit or demon or whatever may be infiltrated in these movies to come out. And it's funny because like I'm thinking about it now and I'm just like, people would be so quick to be like, oh, Naya, that's not real. None of that's real, Naya. Spirits and demons and all these things, like what are you talking about? Like, it's real, you know, if you're even saying that at all. Were you like blind and deaf when Travis Scott had his whole little concert? That whole thing was a ritual and demonic. So you can keep thinking that all these things are fake and all these things are just like, you know, they're just movies and they're just this, they're just that. You can think that all you want. That's fine, right? It don't affect my life, not one bit. I would caution you to possibly rethink that little assessment, because you would be wrong, right? And the more that you let that stuff into your life, just willy-nilly, not thinking about it, takes a little bit of thought. You know, maybe it is lack of discernment, but there are just some things that are like, that shouldn't sit right with you either way. But anyway, thank you for listening. Sorry I went a little off the cuff and a little on edge there, but you know, they're coming after the kids, man. It's our job as parents and as, you know, our guardians, grandmas, grandpas, aunts, uncles, whomever we may be, cousins. It's our job to protect the next generation from what, you know, evil corporations and evil people are trying to do, you know? Okay. Thank you guys for listening. And I don't know when I'll be back, but hopefully it will be soon. Okay? All right.